All right, Module 7, Transformations, and we're on day 3 here. So day 3, still got our learning target with transformations, but we're going to apply reflections and stretches and compressions as transformations. So that ties right in with day 1 with the parent functions, and then day 2, which was your vertical or horizontal transformations, right, left, up, down. Now we're going to reflect, stretch, and compress is what we're looking at today, okay? So we're going to use this as that guide. We're going to graph and use Desmos with this, different colors, and see how it changed, okay? So here we go. So I've got my parent function, my x squared. So that would be this one. And all I want to know is what happens, again, when I go y equals negative x to the second. So if you notice, all that happens, it reflects it. We call this a reflection over the x-axis, so it just flips it upside down, essentially. Okay, so how did it change? It, again, it reflected over the x-axis. Okay, so there would be my graph, again, as you guys saw that as well, as it goes upside down. Okay, so that's what that negative out front does, is it reflects it over the x-axis. Okay, let's look at this next one. I've got x to the third and then 3x to the third. Okay, so my x to the third is this graph. And again, if I'm going to do that other, we're going to go y equals, again, 3x to the third. Okay, so that's that black line. So this one's a little bit harder to see, but hopefully you guys see it. What's end up happening is that 3 makes it like get skinnier faster, if you want to think of it that way. So we call that a stretch. It's stretching it vertically, if you want to think of it. So when it gets skinnier, it's stretching it vertically is what that is doing to it. So this would, again, this would be stretching it. And it's going to be stretching it vertically. And actually, it's going to be stretching it vertically by 3. Okay, so again, this is just going to have that same shape, but it's going to get skinnier a lot faster. Okay. So if I look at this next one, we should have something that happens fairly similar, right? We have that 4 that goes on the outside. Again, if I look at this is this graph right here. And we are going y equals 4 and then absolute value of x. So again, this one makes it a little bit more profound. If you guys notice, it still starts here, but it's getting skinnier or taller faster. Okay, so again, this is a vertical stretch as well. If you want to think of it that way. Again, it's going to stretch it vertically. And this is going to be by 4, meaning, so the bigger the number, the more stretching that happens, and this ends up going right like that. Okay? This fourth one, we're going to go 1/4. So hopefully you guys kind of have an idea with this, but again, I've got my absolute value, that's this graph. And then I'm going, again, y equals 1/4. And then we are going the absolute value of x within this. So if you guys notice, my red line is my parent function. My blue line is now that transformed one. This one's not getting skinnier, it's getting wider vertically. So when we think wider vertically, we think that is a compression it is doing. So again, this is going to compress vertically. And this will be by, again, 1/4 whatever it is that it's giving you. Okay, so this is, again, this one's just going to get really flat. really flat V, where we're going up 1 over 1 with the regular one. It's getting flat pretty quick. Okay, so let's put them together. What if I have the negative and the 5? Okay, well, what has my negative been doing? Reflecting over the x. What is my whole number, not my number less than 1? It has been stretching it. So this should make it skinnier, or stretch it, and it should reflect it. Okay, so again, if we go back to this top one, and there's my parent function. Remember, there was my reflection, but what happens when I put that 5 with it? Notice what happens. It gets skinnier, it gets stretched vertically. So that's what both of them do. So they're two different transformations. So this reflects because of the negative, again, over the x-axis, but it also stretches it. So it also will stretch it vertically. And this is, again, by 5 is what it's going to end up doing. So this ends up down here as this U shape, but it's stretched and reflected. Okay? So let's kind of now look at, without graphing this, let's see if you guys can figure this out here. So this one's going to combine yesterday or day 2 and day 3. So I have this negative outside. We know that that's going to reflect it. Okay. I've got, now it's -3. If you guys remember, inside moves it right and left from day 2. So this would move it to the right 3, because remember, inside's always the opposite. And then the +2 is moving it up or down. Hopefully you guys said in your mind it's moving it up, and it's moving it up too. So my parent function, again, is usually this graph that's here and going this one direction. The order of which I'm going to do this, I have to do my right and left first, then my any reflections second, then do my up and down last. So I'm going to move this, again, right 3 would be right there. It's going to reflect over the x and then move up 2. So it'll be here, and then it'll be facing downward because it's been reflected. Okay, so again, I have to do the right order. So I have to go right, left first, then do any reflections, then move up and down. And you can do your stretches at the same time as you do your reflections. So right, left, then reflect, and stretch, compress, and then up and down last. Okay, so how does A affect it? It could possibly do 2, right? So it could possibly move or reflect, stretch, or compress vertically. Okay? So that's what A is going to do. And A, this is what it looks like with everything. A is located in these spots out front multiplying. Do you guys, this should look familiar, mx plus b. M is really just the A for a linear equation. We just don't talk as much about transformations with linears as we do with some of these other, okay? All right, so just to practice here, we're just going to look at this. If I have a quadratic that's been stretched vertically by a factor of 3 and reflected over the x, what should the equation look like, guys? Well, f of x equals, again, the negative will be the reflection over the x, the 3 will be your stretch, and then I have to have this x squared so that it knows it's a quadratic. Okay, so this one's going to be this nice skinny one here is what we'd have here. Okay, my square root, if I look at this, the 1/2 that is going to compress it vertically. So it's a vertical compression. Again, by 1/2 is what that does. So that is just going to make this thing even skinnier to the line. It's going to start here and go that route. Okay? Use decimals if you want to see both of them. Okay, this shape is an absolute value. If I look at these transformations, I can look at a graph or the equation. The 2 is going to have a vertical stretch. Again, by 2. That'll be that one. The -3 is going to move it right 3. And then we are going to be moving down 2 with there. So again, this outside 2 stretches it. The -3 moves it left because it's inside, and then the outside -2 will move it down. And then this last one, usually this is my linear that's right here. So this is a linear equation. And then if I look at here, this A, it has been stretched. So this is a vertical, again, stretch by 3, or this would be our slope. And then it's moved down 4 because of that -4 on the outside. Okay? All right. So you guys should be able to recognize all of those. Remember, please remember, as the order of our transformations, this might be a good thing to keep in mind, is we're going to move anything up or down. So I'm going to put up, down, that's first. Then we're going to do any reflections second. So this is 1, this is 2. And then the third thing is going to be any stretches or compressions. And then the fourth and final thing is, oh guys, my bad. Sorry about this. Sorry on. This should be left, right, not up, down. You guys are probably thinking like, what the heck? This again is left, right. My bad. So again, the first thing is left, right, then reflections, then stretch compression, and then up and down. Excuse me for making a mistake there. So again, first things are left, right, reflection second, stretch compression third, and then up and down would be your last thing as we look at that. So as I was graphing this one here, I would move right 3, and then I'd stretch it by 2, and then I'd move down 2. This is how the order would be for that. Okay? Apologize for my mistake there. All right, that should be it. We'll talk to you later. Bye.